Hi, welcome to Moyne of Bass Fishes, and we are gearing up for the second stop on the MLF Tacklewarehouse Pro Circuit. So where are we? We're at the Harris Chain. So tomorrow is the first day of practice. We get 2 practice days, an off-limits day, and then the tournament starts on Sunday. It's a very unusual day one Sunday tournament. Usually Sunday's the last day of the tournament. In this case, it happens to be the first day. I don't know how that came to be, but it is. So then, of course, it's been off limits now for a while. I actually, after I was done in Texas, I actually drove out here and did some scouting around before this lake went on its long-term off-limits period. And that's something I haven't done for years. I mean, I'm talking like 15, 20 years. I have not fished pre-practice. But it just so happens the way some things fell into place, it just made sense to come out this way and to do it. So my strategy for the Harris Chain was to fish. I mean, this is what I always do. I just limit it to Lake Harris and Little Lake Harris. I don't monkey around with those long slow zones. I don't monkey around with them locks. I just don't. I mean, I will consider looking at Eustis if I have time, but all that other stuff, I just going all the way to Griffin, all the way to Apopka, forget it. There's enough fish in Lake Harris to win any tournament out here. Which brings me to the next point is they did have the elite. The last day that I scouted here, I scouted 2 days here before the off limits. And then on that next day, the day after I was done scouting, they had the Bassmaster Elites tournament out here. So I did watch all the live streaming in the archives. Okay, I didn't watch the live streaming as the tournament unraveled. I actually waited for it to end, and then once they dumped them out there on YouTube, then I watched them, which is kind of handy because if you watch it, the whole thing live, actually when it's live, you have to sit there and wait through all those commercials. Well, by waiting until it goes on YouTube, you can just fast forward through all that stuff, except for the YouTube commercials. Now the YouTube, they get you, but all the Bassmaster commercials, they'll still come up, but you can just fast forward through all that stuff and not waste any time with that. So, and then the other thing is you can, I mean, it's like 5.5, 6 hours of streaming for each day. So literally, I'm over 20 hours of view time on that tournament. So it's, who's going to watch it 6 hours in a row? That's kind of a rare situation. So it's nice to be able to just stop it when you need to take a break and go take care of some other business, and then you pick it up at another time where you left off. But anyways, so I have that. So between my 2 days of scouting and the elites being out here, there was a lot to learn. And I wasn't happy about what the elite people taught me because they've pretty much ruined my whole. I mean, they ruined some things that I thought I was gonna be able to fish. And now, when I say they ruined it, they caught fish in places that I was planning on scouting in official practice, and places where and some places where I traditionally have always fished out here. So they kind of just it makes me want to go to some of those other lakes now, but no, I'm going to fish on Lake Harris and Little Harris, and I'm going to dig my heels in and just see how it goes. We are going to have. It's been very warm. There hasn't been any cold fronts since the elites have been here that I know of. Nothing serious, anyways. At least, and I know the last week or so it's been very warm here. And the morning of our tournament is going to be extremely cold. We got a front coming through the day before, and it's going to be extremely cold. The water temperature is going to plummet. Similar to what we had here 2 years ago when we were here. I remember we had a big cold front come through. Excuse me. The water temperatures plummeted. And I remember I I could not get bit that first morning on day one. It was so hard. I never started catching fish until late in the day, and then I ended up bringing in like just a little limit, like 9.5 to 10 pounds. And then I remember the next day I brought in 9.5 to 10 pounds, and I finished like 100th place or 90th place or something like that. So definitely looking to do better than last time here, and I feel like I will. I feel pretty good about it after the 2 days I've been out here. One cool thing is I did find a place that I'm going to be, that hopefully, you know, these fish move around. So I found a place where there was a fair number of fish, and I guess I'll have to check it. But, you know, in the elite tournament, I didn't see anybody fishing it. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully those fish are still there. But I didn't catch as many fish as I thought I was going to catch in other places, so that's for sure. The elite guys, they caught a lot of fish, but I did lay off of stuff. Like there was a grass bed, a big grass bed that a lot of decent finishes came out of. And I found that grass bed scouting on here, and I never even made a cast to it when I was scouting. I'm like, you know what? This is the first decent grass I've found in Lake Harris, and I am not even going to fish it now. I'm going to wait till I come back later and fish it. Well, that grass bed absolutely got smoked by the lead field. They hammered it. Now we're 2-3 weeks later now, so you know that grass bed's had plenty of time to replenish with fish. You know, migrant fish moving in there. And of course they can't catch them all when they're there, so I gotta believe there's going to be some limits come out of there. But it's, you know, yes, there were some top 10 finishes out of that grass bed, but also there were guys that failed to make the money out of that grass bed. So obviously there's a little bit of a knack to it. I plan on spending some time in practice on that grass bed, and it's right outside where I'm camping here. I mean, literally, I've launched my boat here at my campground, go out the canal, and that grass bed is right there. I don't have to put it on plane, and I'm already fishing one of the best spots in the chain right now. So, and that's a grass spot, but there are shell beds in Lake Harris to be concerned about. So I'll be doing some of that. The spawn will be important. Maybe if you make days 3 and 4. On days 1 and 2, I think you're mainly gonna be pulling buck bass off of beds, and that's about it. However, there might be some big females in the vicinity, so like you might get in a canal. The females aren't on the beds, but maybe they're sitting in the shade of a dock in that canal, for example. So that's something to keep in mind. So, and then here's the other thing. Just this past weekend, they had a BFL tournament with like 200 boats on Saturday and Sunday. The Saturday was the regular scheduled one. Sunday was a rescheduled one. Apparently, one earlier in the season was postponed or whatever. I don't know why. I don't know anything about it, but they put it on Sunday, so there was a back-to-back BFL tournaments. And that's complete with co-angler fish and pro fish. So Venetian Gardens was well stocked this weekend with those fish. A couple weeks ago, it was well stocked with the elite fish. So let me tell you, there's a good argument. That's bubbly. There's a good argument for a guy to not fish more than a mile from that place, really. Because that part of the lake has been just replenished with 1,000 fish. So that's something to consider as well. And I will definitely look into that part of the lake. Lures, I'm going with a lot of traditional lures to start with. I've got some swimming worms rigged up, rattle traps rigged up, some other crankbaits rigged up. I've got some chatterbaits rigged up. So I guess that's kind of I got Carolina rig set up. So that's kind of my go-to right there, what I just said. Oh, and a Nico rig. Got that set up as well, too. So between those I got probably like 5 crankbait rods with different crankbaits set up. uh, probably about 4 different worm rods. So I got some, and the reason why is because a small worm needs a small hook, a big worm needs a big hook. So then I got some different weights going on. So I've got quite the arsenal set up. I've only got like about 3 or 4 rods that I didn't set up because I'm just like, well, we'll just see what the day brings, and then I'll maybe set those rods up as the day might dictate in practice. So I don't know what else. I didn't really look when I was here in my pre-practice. I didn't really look at the spawn too much. Didn't go into too many canals. Didn't take it very seriously. I was mainly just worried about main lake stuff. So, it very well could be that some spawning fish are caught with the drastic cold front coming in. I got a feeling that that's going to be kind of a limited bite, other than just getting smaller males. So, winning fish, I think I'm leaning towards, off limit, getting off the bank. But then the thing to consider, though, is that day 4 of this tournament, if you do make it to the top 10, that might be the day where they resume their spawn and fish start moving up again on the beds. And with day 4 this year, days 1, 2, and 3, those weights are erased. Everybody's zeroed. Everybody goes out, and all 10 guys on day 4 go out with 0 pounds. So what you catch on day 4 determines whether you finish 1, 2, or 10. So if a guy wants to gamble, get it, and maybe risk that, maybe think there's a spawn about to happen, hey, that might be the thing to do. So, well, anyhow, gosh, that's about it, really. That's all I got to say about that. We got a long day ahead of us tomorrow. Had some fun. 2 days ago. First time ever I went to Universal Studios. That was kind of fun. I got a buddy that lives in Tampa, and we went over there, and it was kind of a nice little escape in my head. I needed to just put my mind elsewhere and get away from the reality of life a little bit. So that was kind of nice. And now we're into this reality of fishing, which is also pretty nice. A little bit of stress to it, but it's fun. I love it. And I don't know. You know what? I just feel like this is going to be my year. I've started out with 2 decent tournaments, and you know what? I'm coming for those fish. I'm going to get them. They're not going to get away from me. They're not going to escape. I'm going to get on these fish. I'm going to get on these patterns. I think I'm going to be taking my game to a new level this year. It's that kind of a year. The last 2 years, things were kind of ramping up. After a few years of just junk, just crap performance, the last 2 years I've kind of leveled that off, brought it back up some, and this year is going to be even better than last year and the year before. I just know that's coming, and it's gonna happen. Anyways, over and super over.